Welcome back aboard BLERD Force 1 with your boys Mo and Ladi. And today we are reviewing Invincible Season 2, Episode 6. It's entitled, It's Not That Simple. It's coming to you from Prime Video. So, what did we think about it? And should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there and hit like on this video. Ladi, you know what? The return of, Season 2 was pretty explosive. A lot of stuff happened in that episode. And there's a big old cliffhanger. And it was also explosive. And man, the aftermath of all of that, like the fights, on out in space to stop the Sequids, that whole thing with the Lizard League, and the deaths of a couple people in the Guardians. I mean, that was a lot of crazy stuff going on. So I was really wondering, could they slow things down and deal with all of the aftermath of that and still have it be as dynamic and interesting as, the previous episode, which was pretty explosive, like I said. And I think they did it. Like, I've had some pretty strong opinions about what happened in this episode. But I want to hear what you had to say, Ladi. What did you think about this episode?
Listen, man. How dare these motherfuckers make me start caring about freaking Rex, man? Damn
it. Can I tell you something? I literally, like, before I even watched the episode, the Prime Video, the Invincible account on Threads was like, they posted something that had a picture of Rex. And I was like, y'all motherfuckers really got me over here praying for this boy. Like I couldn't believe it. Yeah, go ahead, man. But Rex, yeah.
Yeah, listen, I know we're not supposed to talk about spoilers, but damn it, I'm sorry. This episode was so damn good. I'm just going to go straight into it. Goodness, man. They got me over here going like the same thing. Like, damn, I hope Rex is okay. And then, the pop off. The pop off. This, man, listen, I was watching this episode and I was like, the guy just, they just the man had to drop his dick on the table and say, hey, I'm still Invincible. I'm still the creator of Invincible, man. I still know how to make a good show. And I'm like, damn, this was a good episode, bro. This was such a good damn episode. And like you said, you thought maybe a little bit of a slowdown. Nah, if we might slow down a little bit of the action, but the emotional part of Invincible too. Oh, we're gonna drop that shit heavy on you too.
I love, one of my favorite things about the show is that they know, all right, we're only gonna give you 8 episodes, so we're gonna make sure they're 40 something minutes. And I was like, thank God, because like it gives them some room to breathe. And this episode has so much to deal with. Everyone's reeling from, we're victorious, like from the Sequids come back and 3 of their members are fucked up or dead, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna slow down. But then like all these things are happening, like what's his name, Mark's friend, his boyfriend comes back after. Remember, he in the first season he had been turned into like this cyborg guy. So he's back. The fucking Sequids are still sort of hanging around because of that one astronaut. But most importantly, Rex turning out to be. I remember I yelled at the TV. I was like, you motherfuckers are gonna make me not only like and care about Rex, but actually think he may be low-key the best character of the season? Real?
Yeah.
Y'all doing it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And like he's having a real character arc. He's like, I've been a piece of shit. Wow, what is wrong with me? You saw him turn into like, I'm the one that everyone wants to sort of talk to. Like he is actually emotionally available and also mature. What is happening in this world? That shit's crazy. I love it, but this shit is crazy. Everyone's sort of kind of like they're either dealing with loss or dealing with the changes in their lives or trying to figure out where they are. The whole thing with like, I just want to ask you though, the evolution of Amber and Mark's relationship, I was like, wow, what a mature look at this, where, you know, two people who love each other but also are clearly gonna flying apart, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy, like how Amber has grown as a person since the 6 months that, Mark has been gone. Being in college will do that to you, make you become more of an adult, because like she said, she realizes that she's and this is one of the things that too, because you did college, we both went to college. When you were in high school, most people when they're in high school, they were that dude or that chick. It was just easy. Everything came easy. You were able to do this, all that stuff. But when you get to college, you realize real quick, you are not that. You are not that. You're gonna actually have to study, unless you're just one of those freaks that can just not show up to class and get A's on tests. Those are like very, very rare. But it shows that showing a normal college, woman who normally is in college, and she's starting to realize and starting to look at the world a little less from her perspective and more into what Mark. And the same thing, Mark is looking at it like, damn, I don't want to be just like how my dad treated me and my mom. And it's just like, man, it the show, this episode was absolutely heavy. It was absolutely heavy. Like I
Yeah.
said, then the little parts of the books being
That was dope.
being like basically exploratory missions of like weapons that can actually hurt the freaking Viltrumites.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool, and that's like straight out of the comic, obviously. But knowing that Nolan basically was like, when I was going out and around the universe, this is some shit that was real and really gave me problems. I thought that was all really cool. But like, I love the fact that when that whole Amber and Mark thing was going down,
Yeah.
they were both having a simultaneous conversation with the person that they felt would understand them the most, when they're talking about these things. Like Art, his dad's, the costume maker, and then Eve talking to Amber. And I love the parallel of them saying, well, why are you talking to me instead of to him or her, right? I was like, that is a beautiful bit of filmmaking. That would have worked in any medium, but it worked very, very well there. I also there's a bunch, like Debbie continued to be, mother, she's that mom that, Oliver is her son now, right? And she ain't fucking around with what's his name, Cecil, at all. She's not playing with him. But then I love that nanny was like, look, I work for you and I'm not even gonna lie to you. And I was like, man, wow, that whole little interaction was kind of great. This whole episode is just full of great interaction. Hell, the funeral of what's the Duplicate, and the way Immortal was like, just like, I don't even want to say in his feelings. That's not a fair thing to say to him. He was actually broken up over Kate's loss, even though he's lost many people he's loved over the years. And just seeing him have a real serious emotional reaction, so much so that it ended up making him go at Alan for no good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can just say this. Look, I've read the comics up to a certain point. This is a better version of that story, as far as I can tell. The better like, sure, in the comics that it probably got a little more slam bang and whatever like that. It may be a little, because it's 20 years ago, and Robert Kirkman's a better storyteller now than he was then. And it shows that he's able to take a second shot at this and give it a lot more nuance and depth. Like, let me just say, Ladi, agree with me or disagree with me. A story like this has no business being this fucking deep. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you're right. Like, And I agree with you what you said because I've seen parts of the Invincible comic book. And, there's for strangely weird people who are like who thinks the comic book is better because I haven't read the entire comic book, but I've read up to around the point that we're at. And there's some people that are strangely like, oh, it's not as good as the story, and I'm like, oh, uh, okay, y'all can be weird about that, but it's just he's became a much better writer. Like the thing that like one of the things I didn't like about the comic book is that Amber was just toxic just to be toxic. You know what I mean? Like it was just like let's make a toxic character just to have Mark have a hurdle, which is like
and to push him into Eve's arms, basically.
yeah,
And like he's taken the opportunity, and like it's not just him. Kirkman's not the only writer on this. There are other writers or other screenwriters on this, but having other people to sort of collaboratively rewrite this story has improved it. Has just improved. It straight up has improved this story. That like in this episode, no, there's a fight, but it's not really a fight. But for the most part, I mean, there's a fight at the beginning where Rex like just pops off and beats a dude to death with his wrist bone. That sort of thing. Even after he's been shot in the head, he has a real moment of badass. And then there's the whole thing with Immortal and Alan. But really, this isn't an action episode. This is an episode where everyone sort of regroups, thinks about life and what are they going to do next? All that sort of stuff. Everyone's sort of having real character moments. And I think that that's an aspect of superhero media that some creators, that some studios forget about. It's all about the spectacle, and it's not about characters who are moving forward and learning and growing, making mistakes, and having relationships. And that has got to be central. If we don't have that, if we don't care about Debbie, if we don't care about Amber, if we don't care about Nolan, none of this matters. And I love this episode. I just again, how dare you make me not just root for and like, but sort of low-key love Rex. I can't believe it. He's an idiot, but he's sort of not an idiot. What is happening? That's great writing right there. So
yeah, that's the thing that attracts me the most. Like I've always tell people, that attracts me the most about Invincible is that the show is so beautifully human.
Yeah, and it needs to be, because there's people with godlike powers, but they're not gods. They're not gods. They're just people. Even the Viltrumites, they're not God. They're just people. And they just being people means that they're going to make mistakes, but they love and they hurt and all that other stuff. And, I think all of that actually goes back around to like later in the episode, we see Nolan in prison and he's being, kind of interrogated by the Viltrumite, that kind of is in charge, that captured him. And he's like, why won't you what happened? Well, tell me how you turned away from this. And then Nolan never says anything. And then ultimately the guy's like, oh, well, apparently this Earth place is bad and it's turned you soft and we're going to have to go fuck that place up. And just seeing that, Nolan being more human puts Earth in danger really kind of ups the stakes and everything like that. But the fact that people are people, even the Viltrumites are people, and that they, they're angry and or confused, or in this case, they love, like in the case of Nolan, or in the case of the guy, I forget the guy's name, he doesn't understand this non-Viltrumite shit and he wants to stomp it out. I love that this is all revolving around these kind of character emotions. So anyway, we could go on and on. I think we just loved it. This is a great episode. If you're going to only give us 4 episodes for 4 weeks, God damn it, they better all be, S tier. And we're getting about that. So anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts on this episode. But what did you guys think about it? What did you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blerd_force1 on Instagram and on Threads, super_not_funny show on TikTok. All right, thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to talk about episode 7 of the penultimate episode of season 2. Should be a good time. So till then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.